Yo, what's going on, everybody? Dum, 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 dum. Yeah, no, I don't have the Law and Order sound effects, but I wanted to do that anyways. Guys, we got a big issue right now. We got a big issue. We're in 10th in the league. We have a problem with our team. We're inconsistent the whole time. Our defenders are causing issues. Our midfield is non-existent. Our attackers are invisible. The manager is getting pressure from every single section of the media and now fans. And you know what? The chaos that is our season this season is just getting worse and worse. The Europa League or bust is literally what we have. And today we're going to be debating everything that has to do with Arsenal, everything that has to do with this season, how we got there. I'm not sure whose sound that is, Sahal. I think it might be you.
No,
Are you
I'm on mute. I'm on mute.
Okay. And then what I would say is, guys, we just need to focus on ourselves and fixing our issues. So we're going to discuss what's going on at Arsenal. We're not going to try to get into the whole Arteta in and out debate too much, but of course we're going to have to touch on it. And the main premise of this thing is, I want to ask you guys, are we on track to seeing any improvements for next season, or are we on track to another sacking of a manager? Which one do you guys think it is? And do you guys think we are starting to lose the dressing room with Mikel Arteta's performance from that team on Saturday? Honestly, I don't know what to say. But yeah, guys, I'm going to start the show with Samuel. Samuel, what do you say?
Bro, you know what? This has been a long season. The season's almost at an end. We don't need this division right now. I'm going to go sort that out because Arsenal fans don't need this division right now. Yo. The reason is, okay, we've come to the climax of the season. It's do or die. Europa League is do or die. Instead of putting extra pressure on the players, on the fan base, instead of putting more pressure on the players, more pressure on the manager, just back him. Okay, and if we got Europa League any round, your pressure and your criticism is due. Okay, your criticism is due. But as of right now, back the team until the end of the season.
Okay, Military Gunner, what are you saying?
You're on mute.
Fine. My bad. All right, so there's a lot of different concepts here, and you know I have a lot of things to always say about this Arsenal team, and but I'm sitting back and I'm really looking at things, and I'm saying, I just made a tweet, and basically I was saying in the tweet is, even if we should get rid of Arteta this summer, getting a fresh manager with the winning mentality, an experienced manager, I can't see the club actually progressing, because if you should check all the teams that are dominant for the last decade, their owners have been really strong personals in regards to winning things. So I am seeing Arteta going, and I really like Arteta. HJ90 can tell you that. But I do believe that he will go. My problem is that what next? Because we will continue the decline. The decline will continue.
Okay. HJ90.
Yeah, I'm gonna go off both the points Samuel and Military Guna said. I agree with what Samuel's saying now. Look, if it wasn't for the Europa League right now, the season, like what we got to do for the season? Well, what is it? So I think now it's the time where you have to try and, for now to the end of the season, try and back the players, try and get behind them, because we need to win this Europa League. You know, the problems are not just Arteta. For me, it's Arteta, and there's problems beyond that, including the owners, including everything else. We could talk hours going into that, but I think for now, let's just try and win the Europa League, and then let's see where we go from there. But it's been a chaotic season, you know, in which we've been very poor. A lot of different things have gone against us, and we just need to now win this Europa League. Get behind the team.
Listen, I can't take honestly, I can't take Mark Goldbridge's words seriously, and I don't think he's giving an objective, balanced thoughts on Arsenal. I feel like a little bit is banter, and he's just trying to get a reaction out of people. But hey, I don't know the guy. If he's genuine, we'll see. But I felt like it was a little bit to try to get a reaction out of rivals. But hey, Harry, what are you saying?
Hey man, good evening everyone. Thanks for having me on, Egal. To be honest, I mean, well, I would say very similar to what Sam said. Yeah, you know, I'm in the same boat. There's a number of reasons, but we'll go into those individual factors. But at the moment, I think just a lot of positive energy is needed so we can finish the season well. And obviously, Arteta, the players, the board, the fans, we can all be questioned this season. And things need to improve.
Okay. Sahal. So Sahal, it's your moment to
Your
shine. man.
moment. I was gonna say that as well.
Unmute him. Oh, he muted himself.
He muted himself. Oh man,
Yeah,
Sahal, man, come on, man.
Sorry. I'm just talking, so I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. Somali
Basically,
households, you know.
basically, long story short, this is all crunky. End of the day, I you know what? These couple of days, I think I accepted that we will become a mid-table club with this guy as the owner, and I think you guys will need to accept that too, because this guy, he's the problem, he's the issue. It's not Arteta, it's not the players really, because he's the person that employs them, he's the person that signs these contracts, he's all the problems, and he's the biggest issue in this club. So, guys, I think we just need to accept that we will become a mid-table club. Teams like Villa, teams like other teams that are below us, they will be better than us because they got new owners and they're much easier to buy. Teams like Burnley might even, you never know, teams like that got relegated, they might beat us because the financial fair play just got scrapped. Mid-table clubs are going to be willing to spend money, even though it's a COVID situation. Some clubs might see this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you can spend money and get away with it. So, end of the day, I think we're going to be a mid-table club, and that's about it. But I will support Arsenal until I die, man. So, nothing much we can do in it.
That was poetry, literally. What do you call it? Tom.
Yo, you alright? How's everyone?
Tom is the only non-Arsenal fan here. He really wanted to join the debate because he was one of the first people to come at me hard and say, you know what, you're blind, open your eyes. And I know you're definitely, as a rival, you think we should move on from the manager. But what do you think about the situation? Do you think it's just him?
I don't think it's just him. I think, looking back, I think Arteta is probably one of the worst decisions the club has made, not just because of Arteta. I think because as it's divided your fan base from, I've said this about Man United, because it's now locking two sets of fans head to head, as it was with Wenger, and I think it's distracting you from the real problem, as you say it is, which is the owners as well. So I think while you're fighting over Arteta in or out, I think you're all being blinded by who the main problem is. I think you should, that's why I say get Arteta out and then go for the main problem. But obviously I'm not an Arsenal fan, you know what I mean? So, but I always come from an unagendaed side. So,
yeah, and we know Gunnar expressed his thoughts on Arteta. Gunnar expressed, I'm going to ask you this: do you see us completely on track to decline, or do you see that the meltdown is a little bit unnecessary?
No, I do think we are on track to decline. In fact, I wouldn't even say on track. I say we're already declining because over the years we have got worse, and we know that because 15 years ago we were winning Premier Leagues and Champions League finals, and now we're struggling to get in the top 10 of the Premier League. So there is a decline, and if you don't accept that there has been a decline, then you are deluded. But that's not down to the manager, that's down to the owner, because Wenger has a massive part to play in it. Arteta has a part to play, and Emery had a part to play in the decline. But who's been here over these last 15 years? Who's the one person who's been here this whole time? Stan Kroenke and his son Josh. So it's their fault. I'm sorry, it is. And it will always go back to them. And I seen HJ put it on Twitter a while ago. If we don't do well in the summer, if we don't spend the money and back whoever the manager is, if we win the Europa League, then we need to start bringing back some of these movements like We Care Do You. We need to start protesting our anger, not just at the Emirates, but at London Colney. We need to get attention because you can do it. Fan groups can get their owners' attention, but we, as an Arsenal fan base, we aren't on that same level yet.
Okay, so this is now an open playing field. Anyone who wants to jump in, just say you want to take your turn on this. Before we start, let me just lay the groundwork.
Straight in there.
Gary Neville said something the other day where he said he was kind of uncomfortable watching the team play, and he spoke about Mikel Arteta, and he felt like Mikel Arteta has a team that is disconnected from him, and he can start to see that the team is starting to lose the manager's directions, the manager's instructions are not being followed, and he feels like some of these players are not working hard enough. He outed Nicolas Pépé specifically for his style of play and the fact that Calum Chambers had to tell him to go mark men off the ball, and he feels like Mikel Arteta is starting to lose the dressing room. I personally feel like Mikel Arteta has not lost the dressing room based on the performance that we had against Tottenham. But of course, the performance against Liverpool was completely unacceptable. I'm going to say two parts to this question. One, do you think the manager has lost the dressing room? And two, I'm starting to lose my voice, but two, do you feel like the expectations at Arsenal need to be real? And we need to realize we need to lower our expectations. And that's not accepting mediocrity, by the way, Gunner Express, or anybody who thinks that. It's genuine, real facts. We have to face the reality of the situation. I'm going to let you go first, Military Gunner, and then I'll let somebody rebuttal.
All right, first thing first. We have to remember that these pundits, they are paid to say the next big thing so they can get clickbaits. It is important that whenever they come on television and televise their product, it gets a lot of clicks. The two most important teams in England are actually, with most clickbaits, clicks are Manchester United and Arsenal. So whenever you say something about Manchester United or Arsenal, you will get clicks. Now, we have seen teams perform way worse than that. We saw Liverpool got smashed by Burnley, and I didn't hear those type of comments that the team was disconnected from club. No, there's a bit of blanket around certain clubs. Now, it is imperative that these persons stir up as much anger in the fan base, especially the Arsenal fan base and the Manchester United fan base, so that they can get these clicks. It is really, really important. We can think it's just like in the world of YouTube. Clickbait is important. Now, when these pundits come out and make those claims, they're trying to stir up something in the background to create a bit of friction. And if you should look at it, yes, we know the results are not good, but we have seen Arsenal battered team just the same as though we got battered. That is how the season is. This season, everyone is going to get battered. Everyone will be battered. I didn't see people calling out for Pep's head when Manchester City got battered.
They were. Fans are reactionary, mate.
That is the thing. So for every single game, I can guarantee you, if we should go ahead and beat Slavia Prague this weekend, 3 or 4, I can guarantee you that a lot of people will forget about the Liverpool game, because that is how we are. We're for the next moment, and the next moment is what really matters. The last moment is due onto the next moment. So we're still lingering. Liverpool is still lingering in our heads until we move on from that and get another win. Then no, we'll forget about Liverpool. We have experienced worse defeat. Aston Villa battered us worse than how Liverpool did. We had less possession. We were playing against a weaker team.
Yeah, that was a fake ram.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't hear that. We heard the fans were crying out, but the pundits were backing Arteta at that time. A lot of the pundits were backing Arteta. But guess what? Now we have a narrative. There's a narrative now that we can create something to create a bit of clickbait. So they work that. And I do believe that is just the aspect of things. If someone would say that the fans, the players are disconnected from the manager, that is a lie. Note each time Arsenal score a goal, the first place that they go to the manager to celebrate.
Gunner Express, I'm sorry, HJ90. Could you big screen HJ90 for me, please, Samuel? HJ90, explain to us what you're showing us.
Right, I did a whole video on this, and I've got the video saved, so I want to go through this again. Look, I think in terms of this is exactly what Gary Neville went through. In terms of what he thought was the disconnect. Now, not mentioning any of these is the fact that our own captain isn't interested. Aubameyang doesn't look interested. He's dropping 0 out of 10, 0 out of 10 every single week. Just by pure stats, you can see here, just in the first half, the way we were just sitting back. I know this is one half of one game, and you can sit here and say, look, in other games we've been better, but you can see similar stats in like games against Man City, against other big teams, which supposedly Arteta's broken Klopp or Arteta's broken Pep. That sort of narrative has been pushed. Now, this next one, let me just get to that. This one, this is our shape. You know, in terms of average positions, Ødegaard was supposedly highest up the field. In this one, it shows Lacazette. Lacazette's supposed to be pressing these two centre backs. These two centre backs, by the way, one's supposed to be coming in. They were supposed to have their main centre backs, but they were out injured, and the main focus was for us to attack Liverpool was to get out those centre backs, which we didn't clearly. And Lacazette sat back. His average position was CM. Why were we sitting back at home against a team
Okay.
that's getting thrashed every week.
Can
Oh,
I-
let me just finish.
Let him finish, Military.
Okay.
But all right, I'll tell you that the back four shape, that's fine. But and then the next one, the Nicolas Pépé outing. I don't think Gary Neville exactly called out Pépé in terms of this one. It was more like Pépé wasn't bothering to press, because Pépé usually presses. I've seen him press, but for some reason he's not pressing here. Is that something Arteta's told him? Sit back, not do anything? Because you can see here, Calum Chambers clearly shouting at him, telling at him, try press, get at those centre backs. He's not doing that, and Arteta ain't screaming anything, because if Arteta was screaming, he would be pressing, but he isn't. I'm not sure what's going on there, and I think that's about it I want to show you guys right now.
Okay,
All right,
Military Gunner, 1 second. I want to get Harry on this. Harry, what are you saying?
Yeah, I don't want to digress too much in terms of speaking about the game specifically, because I think we've all spoken about it. With regards to what Gary Neville said, I mean, everything that Military Gunner said is factually correct, and you have to be careful about what you consume on Sky Sports and in general, and how much you actually take the truth in it, because it's simply there to sensationalize and generate discussions, which is what I did with my friends all day on WhatsApp, and that's the purpose of Gary Neville. Let's not forget that Gary Neville has failed in every single managerial aspect in his career. He bummed out at England and he bummed out at Valencia. So whilst I respect what he's saying, when he's making these comments about are the players playing for Arteta, I mean it's just mind-blowingly inaccurate, because he doesn't know that, and he's just seeing a really bad performance, and he's coming to many conclusions. But quickly, just to go back to HG90 about Liverpool being awful and we're at home, regardless of how awful Liverpool are, they still have arguably the two of the best wingers in the Premier League, Salah obviously, and they also have Jota. They also have, I know Thiago's been off form, but they also have Thiago and Fabinho, who are as a partnership miles ahead of Thomas Partey and Ceballos. And for as awful Liverpool have been, we have been wholeheartedly worse in every single department. So to base Arteta's performance, or to base our performance on the theory that we are at home and we should be going at Liverpool and we should be winning, or we should be giving them, a hiding, is incredibly inaccurate. And I've seen a lot of anger and frustration about how we lost to Liverpool, which I understand, but almost with this sense of we could have beaten Liverpool. If we was at full strength, and I'm not talking about Saka and Emile Smith Rowe, if we had David Luiz and Granit Xhaka, we might have been able to, get at Liverpool, because Pépé, Aubameyang and Lacazette on their day can hurt teams, but we weren't. So, if we take a step back from that defeat and take a step back from these screenshots of, our average position, because essentially Liverpool kept the ball, and when you keep the ball, you can go as high as you want until the other team take the ball off you. And if the other team do take the ball off you, but you can't keep the ball and you can't force the other team back, that team will stay high up the pitch. And the defending team, i.e. us, will continue to stay deeper. Because when you get the ball and you don't progress and you just simply knock it long and it comes back at you, that's where your average positions are going to be. Simple as that. So, yeah, there's lots of things to talk about in that game. But let's be real. Liverpool are better than us in every single department.
Okay, Gunnar Express, I wanna lay the floor down for you. After hearing what everybody said, do you feel like Arteta's lost the dressing room? And I want you to speak more about the expectations part, because I feel like I have a problem with people saying, you know what, you're accepting mediocrity, and I've heard you say that before. So I'm not saying you always say that, but I've heard you say that before.
Well, first off, with Gary Neville, I never believe anything he says, because he just talks shit. He is biased towards every other club that isn't United. Obviously, we've all seen him commentate whenever Liverpool are playing and stuff, but this is the same guy that yesterday said that Saka shouldn't go to the Euros, but Mason Greenwood should. Yeah. Right then, Gabriel scored the same amount of goals as Greenwood this season, so stop with that talk, mate. But yeah, in terms of the Liverpool performance and the expectations, yeah, Liverpool are a better team. And in a sense, there is no divine right that we should beat them. But my thing is this, and it's the same thing when we played Man City. I want us to have a go. I want us to at least try. And James from AFTV, I love James. He speaks facts all the time. He said the same thing. If you have a go, but we lose 1-0 to a lucky goal or something, you don't then question the team. You just say we got unlucky. or it just wasn't our day. But we didn't once try and attack them. We had 2 shots the whole game, which is poor. I don't care how well Liverpool kept the ball. It's poor. I never felt that once we tried to attack them when we had the ball. Like, not once. Let's remember this. We've been criticising the centre-backs all season. Kabak's rubbish. Phillips is rubbish. They need Van Dijk, this and that. We didn't even test them. And the same thing happened with Man City. They had a couple of injuries in their team when we played them, but we didn't even try and attempt to test them. So, yeah, for me, it's not an expectation that, we have to win this game or Arteta's rubbish. It's at least try. And we didn't try. We just sat there. Again, Aubameyang was just non-existent. Like, Aubameyang was playing left wing-back. And everybody says that Aubameyang's better than Kane, Aubameyang's better than this, Aubameyang's better than that. Why is he playing left wing-back then if he's so good? Like, I'm not blaming Aubameyang for that. That's the tactics. Tierney was told to bring in deep and play left centre-back, and then Aubameyang was told to bring in deeper and play left wing-back. I'm like, how is that meant to work? So, again, I don't get it. For me, Arteta wants to play a 3 at the back, but he won't do it because he knows the fans will have a go at him for it. Because he was playing a 5 at the back against Liverpool, and he was.
Okay, I hear that. Before I go to Tom, I'm just gonna ask road call. Samuel, you're still backing the manager until the end of the season, correct?
100%. Even if we don't win Europa and I assess it, and I'll give him this summer window. Actually, I'll give him this summer window to bring the players he wants. Coming next season, and he's still like this, then I'll want him out.
Okay, and Tom, as a West Ham fan, you guys change your manager quite a lot. Do you feel like you've seen this before, and the only solution is to sack the manager? Tom?
Anyone there?
Tom, you there? Okay, Tom.
I can hear you now. I was up on mute, mate. Good start.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I was just going to firstly say, it'll be, if you don't back the manager, it doesn't mean you don't support the team. I know that every single Arsenal fan during the 90 minutes supports the team. I know that from everyone. Even if they don't support the manager, I reckon they do support the manager during 90 minutes. They want him to win. But because you don't believe in them and back them doesn't mean you don't support the club. But with Arteta, I just think he's gone into it too wrong. Like, I think the reason we're inconsistent is because with the players he plays, like Willian, you were saying how well Willian's playing. Where's he been? Like, where's he been?
He should have started.
Like, why has he not been playing?
He should have started over Aubameyang.
This is what I'm saying. This is why you have problems with Emery. Like, there was a stat that come out with Arteta and with Emery, like, you hadn't started 3 games with the same players in the last 3 years. And you wonder why you're always inconsistent. And he's done the same thing as well. And it don't matter how good your tactics are. You could keep bringing people in, people out. Players talk. I've even heard of some rumblings in the Arsenal dressing room. So it don't matter how good you could be Pep, and if your players you keep bringing them out in and out when they're in form, not in form, you will not win games.
Okay.
And that's true reflection.
Okay, 100%. Now, I've seen something on Jess's channel, and you were on there, Harry. Someone said they feel like pound for pound, Pepe is the worst signing in Arsenal's history.
I think he asked. I think it was a question of in terms of pound for pound. So in terms of what we've spent, is he in context one of the worst signings in Arsenal's history?
I like Pepe, but
and what was your solution?
Sorry.
And what was your response to it?
My response, I can't actually remember. I think I sat on the fence, to be honest. I said he hasn't been good, and then we spoke about would we sell him for 25-30 million, and Jess and I both agreed that we probably would. Currently, based on what we're seeing now.
Currently, his valuation is still 45 million.
You're not getting that for Pepe.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's a genuine question because you have to think in terms of our big money signings. Has he been the biggest flop? And obviously that question changes, doesn't it? Because Mustafi was a flop, but he was 30 odd million. Pepe 75 million. So does that make him more of a flop? I don't know. Hopefully he turns out not to be a flop. I still think he can do well.
HJ90's breaking news on the channel. What are you saying, bro?
I just got this off Twitter. I just copy pasted it.
No.
AFC stuff. They're saying Smith Rowe, Granit Xhaka, Saka all back in training, ready hopefully for the Thursday game.
Do you know why that's crucial? because after David Luiz, Granit Xhaka is our most progressive passer in the team. And the two players who created the most chances in this team are probably Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith Rowe since December. So
yeah, that's
So
massive
that's-
to have them all back. Massive.
90% of our
Can I
creativity.
just say
Can I
this
say
quickly?
Yeah, let Gunnar express after
no,
Gunnar
let
express.
let
Gunnar express.
Gunnar
Let
go first.
military Gunnar go.
Yeah,
because he
yeah,
hasn't spoken in a while.
No, I was going to say that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was really reviewing when I finished and I did my review. I was sitting back in the couch and I was looking like it is so unfortunate for Arsenal to be playing Liverpool after the international break where they get quality rest and they could go back to the training ground and go back to square one and implement back their genuine tactics. It was just unfortunate that Arsenal is the next team that they play, because I wanted to play them before the international break when they were flustered and going through their bad patch, because I think that they will go pick up a good run of form right now. No, and for that particular game, Liverpool at their lowest played all of the teams at their highest, and that was the exact point where we played Liverpool when we were actually at our lowest. We didn't have Saka, we didn't have Smith Rowe, we didn't have Granit Xhaka, we didn't have David Luiz. 4 key players, 4 core players was missing out of our team, and those 4 players were the 4 players that gradually give us those wins over that duration of when we're winning games. And it was just so unfortunate for us. And some of the time things like this happen, and I do believe that is just Arsenal's how could I call it now? And just our luck.
Inconsistencies.
That's just our luck. And just it's really, really unfortunate. And look, and as you guys said, these guys are back in training now, with the exception of David Luiz. But definitely they're back in training, which means that it's just that is the art. This is the exact Arsenal way. This is a
Samuel.
Let me sum that up before Samuel goes. I feel like 90% of our issues in that Liverpool game were personnel problems. You did not do like for like replacements for the players. To be honest, if you were going to take out some Xhaka, you should have put in Dani Elneny. If you're going to take out if you're going to take out Saka, obviously you're going to put in Pepe. And on the left-hand side, instead of paying Aubameyang, you should have went with Willian. So Arteta did make mistakes. Now, Samuel, you're going to say something?
Yeah, what I have an issue with, I have no issue with HJ90. He brings up a good point. He's Arteta, but he brings up good points and factual evidence for his words. What I take issue with some Arteta, not HJ90, some particular Arteta outers, is that they want the manager to personally fail so it suits their agenda. That's what I have issue with. They'll go on and clamour your opinions about the manager. They'll go on and clamour saying, "Oh, he doesn't do this because the manager's shit." No. There's sometimes it's absolute rubbish. Okay, you just have to bring up.
Give us names. Who are you referring to?
I'm not referring to. No, I'm not firing shots. I'm just referring to.
No.
Shots. There's no shots. It's my opinion, and what we need to do as a fan base to treat that. What we need to do as a fan base, okay, is get behind this manager until the end of the season. I know you can bring up your points, see where you want them out, and after the end of the season, everyone will make a judgment on the fan base. But as of right now, we have to back the team.
Yeah, and guys, do me a favor, guys. Smash a like on the video.
Everyone's backing it. Everyone backs the team. Even if you don't want the manager in, you still back the team.
Can I quickly come in? I think because of social media now, and the power of or the perception that fans believe that they have power in their voice and their opinion, it gives fans like this self-entitlement that they can make change and they can have an impact. If you think about, when it was Wenger out at his peak, maybe summer of 2017, I think it was, and then he went on and signed a new contract, and that was almost like a victory for objectivity and almost a victory for Wenger in people who weren't kind of protesting so vocally.
Good videos.
But the problem is, because what Tommy alluded to earlier was like, all fans want Arsenal to win, and when they're in the game, everyone's going to be behind Arteta. But unfortunately, that's untrue, because you want Arsenal to win, but there'll be key moments in a game where we're 1-0 down or something's going wrong, and instead of getting behind and supporting the team, you will just boo and you'll abuse and you'll kick it out. And I've seen it firsthand. I don't want to go back too far, but when we played Wigan in the FA Cup semi-final, which must have been 2014, 2015, at Wembley Stadium, and I think we went 1-0 down, I might be right. I think we won on penalties, but anyway, we were 1-0 down. Saka gave away a penalty, and there was a couple of fans in front of me, And they were just Wenger, and we were near the dugout. Wenger, you this, Wenger, you that. Like, you're ruining this club during the FA Cup semi-final. One second, Tommy. And I was thinking, and I said to him,
Harry,
like, get behind the team. One second. And I was like, get behind the team. And that's when sometimes your hate eludes what your purpose is to support the club. And that's the balance that we have to make sure we're careful. Right now, as Samuel 100%. Said, it's all about positive energy. So if we could just create this positive energy, so Sky Sports create a talking point, but we can all say, what a load of bollocks that is by Gary Neville. What a load of rubbish he's talking. But obviously we can't say that because we might agree with it or we might see truth in it. So I agree with what Tommy said, but unfortunately that's not the case. When fans want a manager out or a player out, they won't get behind him, especially when we're losing. When we're winning, it's fine. But when we're in the trenches, when we're bleeding, when we're wounded, some fans will sit back and almost be like, you're shit during the game at the Emirates. And that's where the toxic environment prevents us from progressing.
Yeah, Tom, I wanted to get Dizzy in the conversation because he hasn't spoken in a while. Dizzy, what are you saying?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yo, like, why is everyone so mad? Like, come on, man. Smile a bit. Guys, come on.
I'm happy. I'm in the top four. I'm happy. I'm sweet. I'm happy.
Yo, like, man, you look so angry. Smile, man. For fuck's sake. Yo, guys.
All right, continue. What's your thoughts on this situation, man? Do you think the meltdown is worth?
The thing with me is, I'm actually like prepared to like sit through a rebuild. So like, I kind of don't really have any bad thing to say. I understand we're 10th and everything, but like, I'm actually ready to like sit and watch this club rebuild. Like seriously. So I'm just like stuck in because I have nothing bad to say.
Yeah. Yo, I thought this was gonna get heated, but of course we all kind of seem like we're somber and we just understand the situation. Where majority of
Laurie.
No, because leave Laurie out of this, man. Listen, the real situation is on social media when you're getting your point across, you can't get your point across properly. But when you're speaking to the actual people, when you're actually speaking as a group of people, we can get our points across. Here you have 3 people who clearly think the manager is not the right man. You got 4 of us 4 or 5 of us who think we understand the situation and we're saying, you know what, we're willing to give him more time, and we're not willing to say, you know what, it's time for him to go yet. But hey, hopefully,
quickly, the thing is as well, I think we're all aware of our whilst we should potentially be higher, but we don't necessarily deserve to be. If I go through the team against Liverpool, so. If you could upgrade on Leno, would you upgrade on him? Just do thumbs up or thumbs down. I'll say yes, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Chambers, would you keep or sell?
Sell.
Rob Holding, keep or sell?
Yeah, wait. Harry, can I say something?
Yeah.
Someone in the comments called me soft. Kiss my ass, bitch.
No, don't worry about the comments.
Brilliant.
Don't worry about the comments.
But
they always do that.
My point is, if we go throughout the whole team, we'll probably say sell or upgrade on maybe 10 plus players, maybe more.
So that whole starting 11's binned, man. It's up to me. All of them.
Thomas,
we'll be upgrading it to.
Hurry.
So in terms of expectations, I think we're just aware now of we are where we are. And unfortunately, maybe Arteta's inexperience, it means that we're a few places lower than where we should be. But even at optimum performance, unfortunately, this season we are finishing 8th max, maybe a little bit higher, but I doubt it.
I want to say one thing.
Guys,
wait, can I go?
How many players in this particular team that have been here since Arsene Wenger was in charge? We have Elneny, we have Chambers, we have Holding, we have Bellerín.
You know Arteta's offered these guys contracts.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Hey Jay, protect your investment. When you want to rebuild, you need to protect your investment.
No, you don't.
Not this.
That's rubbish.
Why are you putting that
rubbish?
Excuse.
How is that excuse, guys? If you've got a player.
It's excuse.
Wait, Harry. Wait, can I say something? Rob Holding. You put him on a 1-year contract. Wait. If you put Rob Holding on a 1-year deal or a 100-year deal, he's going to be a £10 million footballer.
Okay.
Same with Elneny. Put him on a 200-year deal. He's going to be a 5 to 10 million
let
pound
me clear it
footballer.
up. Let me clear it up.
You're not protecting the investment.
Guys, please.
Actually incorrect.
So we have around 6 or
Arteta's
7
one keeping all the ones that failed under Wenger.
Guys, please listen. We have 6 or 7 players is in the first team. We have 6 or 7 players in the first team that have been here since Arsene Wenger days. This is what you guys should realize. Now, these players were signed before Arteta. They were signed under Wenger. They were on big contracts, which makes it a bit difficult for any club to take them over. Remember now, we just released Ozil, Kolasinac. We released all these guys. We recently released all these guys. But what I'm getting at is this. Arteta may give Rob Holding a new contract, which is only one out of the lot he gave a contract. Reason, you said even if he's on a 1-year contract or 10-year contract, he values the same. But can you imagine us as fans, Rob Holding going down into his last year of contract, running down his contract, what we would say? We would say it would be the same situation over and over again. The club running down players' contract until the last day and then leaving for free. We would say that.
Exactly. Damned if he does, damned if he
So
doesn't.
can I rebuttal on that?
I'm not finished, guys. I'm not finished.
Okay, can I ask all our set of in fans? Oh God, sorry.
We are the same fans who are going to say we allow players to run down their contract. No, this is what happened. We couldn't get any sale for Rob Holding. Yes, he was supposed to go to Newcastle, but remember that David Luiz was injured at the beginning of the season, which we have to retract. We had to retract the loan, the transfer for Holding to Newcastle. So this is what happened. Maybe at the end of the season, Holding maybe could have been a Newcastle player. Take that out of the way. The reason why he got a contract now, we have to remain. Yes, AJ Knight, you could say that it could be a 1-year contract or a 10-year contract. He values the same, but at the end of the day, we still have to give him the contract so that it does not leave for free. So it does not leave for free.
Listen,
can I rebuttal for you,
mate?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never known so many football
Let them
fans.
go.
Military Gunner
after
TV.
that.
Military Gunner TV is factually correct about managing the players and contracts. You can disagree with that, but it just means that you're not looking at it correctly.
Since
He's factually correct. Factually correct.
Since when did anyone talk about
Let them rebuttal.
Wait.
No, they do talk about Danny Welbeck to this day. They still beat Arsenal with Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, but only bring it up because Arteta. That's why.
Let me rebuttal this. For a starter, we've brought facts to Arteta winners and they completely ignore them. So I'm not going to just sit here and say, oh, because it's factual, you're right. You're not right. Let's take a look at the Arsenal squad. Let's pick out the Arsene Wenger players. So we have Héctor Bellerín. Oh, he was meant to leave last season.
No, the reason he couldn't
No, let me finish. He was meant to leave last season. Arteta told him not to leave. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care why he didn't leave. Arteta begged him to stay. So that's one player.
How do you know he begged him to stay? How do you know he begged him to stay?
Yeah, but
wait, that's one.
No. See, the deal. You read a news story.
I let you finish. I let you finish. So can I please finish?
No, I was going to go one point about Bellerín.
Well, you can go after me, yeah?
Let him finish.
So Bellerín was 1 foot out the door. Arteta said, stay. Rob Holding, he could have left to Newcastle. He got offered a 3-year contract. And like Troop said, he played, 6-7 good games and got offered the new contract? That's unacceptable from any club in the Premier League because you have to do at least 1 season of good football to get offered a 3-year contract on probably double the money that he was on before. Who else have we got? Chambers. Why is he still here if he's not going to use him? Oh, wait, he is using him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he stays as well. We have, who else? Let's have a look. Elneny. He's going to be offered a new contract from what reports are saying. So that's another one that you can't complain about Wenger having him because he wants to keep him. Xhaka, he wants to keep him. He begged him to stay. And you can't say that he didn't because Arteta literally did a press conference saying that I asked him and begged him to stay. So Xhaka is another one that's still here. Lacazette, he's shit. He's still here. He might leave, but he's still here. He could have gone a while ago because Atletico Madrid wanted him, but we kept him. Aubameyang, he got offered a new contract. Might have deserved it at the time, but he's still here on a new contract. Nelson is still here. Nketiah is still here. So I don't hear this. It's all bullshit. Every single player that was under Wenger has either A, been begged to stay, B, been offered a new contract, or C, is going to be out the door this season but should have been gone 2-3 seasons ago anyway. So I'm not hearing this.
Okay, so
let Samuel respond. Let Samuel respond.
So it makes no difference.
Yeah. Gunner Express, let somebody finish. Let them rebuttal to one point before you move on to Partey. Samuel, what were we going to say?
It's the Héctor Bellerín point. Like last summer, PSG came in an offer, but it was just a loan deal, not substantial money like this summer that has been offered. And obviously, we didn't have many options at right back. Of course, maybe Andy Niles was going to play there, and at the time, no one knew what Cedric could do at right back. So obviously, if someone comes in with a loan deal with a player you can get 20 mil out of, 30 mil out of, and offering a 1-year loan, obviously you're gonna reject it. That's the point. We didn't get a £30 million offer for Bellerín. It was just a simple 1-year loan from PSG. It's not like every
could have gone then, couldn't he?
The only way we could sell Bellerín in the past future was in 2016, 2017, where Barcelona came in with a 40 mil offer, and then of course the club were against it. Some Barcelona board members were against it, and people at Arsenal were against it. So that was the last time we could have made a decent amount of money for Bellerín.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Military Gunner wants to go before you went, Harry. Military Gunner.
Yeah, exactly. Samuel, you're spot on with that. For every player, there's a different circumstance and situation surrounding that particular player. That is the reason why these players are still here. But at the end of the day, the reason why so much Gunner Express list out about 10 or 15 players that he thinks should have left. But think about it. During the time period that Mikel Arteta has been handed the job, the COVID situation.
Yeah, for God's sake.
With a massive
Let's blame COVID.
Every single club in a financial problem. The COVID situation.
Let's blame protecting investment. Let's blame everything but the manager.
Can I say Chelsea went out and splashed over almost 300 million. Chelsea went out and splashed almost 300 million. If Arteta is nowhere near there or is not good enough, come on, why didn't our owner then went out and splash some cash to get?
You spent 300 million since Concrete have taken over.
Why didn't we went out and buy better players then, since our players are so crap? That's not Arteta can't just go out and spend the money. That's not his. That's not his role. He has to send out. Yes, these are the players.
He needs to demand.
That wasn't
He needs to demand.
No, that's
he doesn't demand. He's a puppet.
The main point. The main point was that he has players that aren't good enough because of Wenger. You were blaming Wenger for buying them and then no one else getting rid of them. So my rebuttal was he could have got rid of them, but he didn't. With the money that he could have brought in from those players, he could have bought players that he wanted. But he chose to beg Granit Xhaka to stay at the club. He chose to keep Bellerín. He chose to keep Elneny. So there is no point in that.
Can I say one thing? Don't you feel like this is partially mismanagement from earlier management that you're putting on a manager that has no control over who is coming in a January window when there's no money being spent?
Wait, I need to go. Can I have my last point? Then I need to.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Look, I think this is, things like Xhaka, Mustafi, we've spent crazy amounts of money on, and it's good we've got rid of Mustafi, and hopefully we get rid of Xhaka soon as well. But what I want to say is, I think in terms of what Military Gunner is saying, in terms of, Arteta, he isn't getting what he wants. He doesn't demand. Emery was a guy who demanded and he didn't get what he wanted. And that's why he fell out with the board. Arteta is a guy who doesn't want to fall out with the board. He wants to be, I think he is a puppet to the board. Because think about it. We wanted to bring in an ex-player. So if we brought in an Henry or a Vieira, they would have demanded too much. The reason we brought in Arteta, he's not going to demand too much. And he has enough credibility as an ex-player because he was a captain that he's gonna the fans will give him more time because he's an ex-player. He's this, he's that because he was a captain, whatever. He doesn't demand. It's clear. The players aren't giving him the full respect, which is why I think the blame isn't just on Arteta. It has to be on the owner, has to be on the board as well, even the players. But I think looking at COVID, looking at with protecting their investment, I think that's a lot of excuses to go around the fact that Arteta needs to get blamed for a lot of this. That's just what I want to say.
Okay, so before anyone else goes, thank you HJ90 for coming on. Big up to you. I don't know who has water in the background.
Yeah, he's taking a piss, man.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, we're gonna ask you guys for the next 10 minutes to give us questions. So put the letter Q in capital letters and then put your question and we'll be able to we'll answer it. But first I want to lay the groundwork for the final question. Do you see us going on the right path or do you see us leading towards a path of sacking the manager again? which path do you see us going on? Because personally, I feel like we're on the path of sorting out the back room, sorting out a lot of the wage bill, getting rid of a lot of the senior players who are rotten, like Kolasinac and Mustafi. As you guys seen Mustafi's time at Schalke, how things have gone, right? And I feel like we are on the right track to improve in the long run. In the short term, you're going to feel granular pains because we don't have a big enough squad to get rid of 4 to 5 players in a January window and still have a deep squad to improve ourselves. What we've been able to do in this January window to bring in bandages with no money at all has been impressive. And you know what? We need to sign a backup goalkeeper, a backup left back, a right back, a midfielder, all these things. Don't be surprised if some of these guys stay after their loan. But yeah, I'm gonna throw it to Samuel.
Oh, sorry, it's snowing, bro. It's snowing. Sorry.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was gonna tweet about it, but my phone died earlier.
I know it's snowing, isn't it? England.
Yeah.
In April.
So what's the question?
England.
I just missed that. What's the question, Egal?
Okay, no, I'll go to Harry because Harry was making a dead like he was dead. What was that face about, man?
No, I'm just thinking about all of the theories that people have about Arteta squad management and player contracts, and it was just annoying me in my head. But I know we've moved subject, so
Can you answer this question?
It's not. Oh my goodness, this is.
He's not wrong though, man. There's always a reason.
Really. Can I say one thing?
Is.
No one here is accepting or saying it's an excuse why we lost. We're just saying there is reasons. Those reasons, if you want to count them as excuses or if you want to count them as actual valid reasons, it's up to you.
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
But no, I was just gonna say if Arteta was sacked tomorrow. Yeah, so let's just say Arteta was sacked tomorrow. Would you be upset?
No.
Nope. I'd be
Because
over the moon.
I personally
No.
won't be upset if the manager is sacked because at the end of the day, I back the team. I'm not backing an individual. As much as people think, oh, you're dick riding Arteta. No, I'm not.
Well, obviously he ain't
Could
really.
have probably used a better analogy, Egal, but sure.
But can I just say something with this?
Military Gunner died.
Oh,
Can I just say one thing? Okay, they say Arteta is the
Answer
top
this question,
point.
Samuel.
If we win Europa League, I will keep Mikel Arteta 100% because from the situation we're in, the goal was, regardless, not finishing in top 4, was to get in the Champions League. That was a goal for the season, and he's achieved the goal. So why if you set out a target and a person smashed the target, you're not gonna fire them.
No, he hasn't smashed the target though.
Okay.
No, but he got the target, hit the target.
Military Gunner, say what you got to say and then answer this question while you're at it.
Okay. Why is it that the goal was set at Champions League football and we finished 40 points off Champions League football last season? How can the goal be Champions League football this season and we finished 40 points? I mean 40 points off with the likes of Chelsea, who got the Champions League spot, spending over 200 million. Manchester City spent over almost 100 million.
I can answer that question.
Manchester United
because Arteta told us is what people are going to say.
I can answer the question.
Never said that.
Can I ask one quick?
Let Gunnar express answer. Yeah.
I want to ask you one question. Do you trust? Wait, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
We finished 8th last season. We didn't even finish in a European League spot, but all of a sudden, magically, we're expected to finish in a Champions League spot this season, spending less money than all those teams in the top 4 did. It is impossible, and it's
that's actually factually wrong. We spent more money than Manchester United, so that's wrong. Because that's bringing out. So no, but I can answer the question though about the expectations.
Let him answer. Gunnar. Military Gunnar. Let him finish.
Yeah, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspurs, Chelsea. These squads.
What is Samuel doing
last season?
Bro, look at the
These
snow.
squads were better than us last season. The table does not lie. It tells us that we finished.
I'm not saying.
Okay. You lost me at the table does not lie. Anyways,
thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that.
Let Gunnar express
so much.
Listen to this, because guys, if the table did lie,
the table doesn't lie.
And why are we 10th then?
If the table was lying, why is it that Arsenal is at 10th position when you factor in all the games that we have lost? It's because we lost those games. It is because we lost those games. There's a reason why Manchester City is at the
military
top of the
Gunner.
Won 3 in the last 10.
Military
Because
Gunner,
they are
we're
consistent.
on this for too long. We're on this for too long.
So-
I want to
so-
get to
so-
some
so-
questions.
Just quickly,
guys,
can I answer the question about the expectation for top 4? It literally take me 2
Q&A
seconds.
time.
My question to you is: do you trust what David Ornstein says? Do you see him as not a trustable source in terms of
No.
everything he
Yeah,
says?
I
Right?
trust him. I trust
He
him.
got
Okay.
a lot of things to wrong.
Egal
He's
trusts him.
too
No,
many
Egal,
things
no,
wrong.
wait,
When
Egal-
he
Egal
said at the
trusts him.
beginning of the season
So
the expectations were
no. So we'll
even
go
if
with
he
this.
dropped off.
So we'll go with this again.
No,
so
to
David
improve.
Ornstein, David Ornstein, when Arteta signed his contract, so nobody was Arteta out at this point, or some were, but when he signed his contract, he was brand new to the club. David Ornstein put a tweet out saying that what he believes, or from what he's heard from his inside source, was Arteta's contract objectives. In his first season, he was to finish in a respectable place, and 8th is not respectable. And before you say, but the coincidence of that season, by the way, he had more games in that season than Emery and Lundberg did combined, so that's an absolute myth.
I said this.
So he could have finished higher.
19
And then
games.
my second.
okay.
So he then said that in the second season, his goal was to finish in the top 4 and do as well as he can in Europe. So technically, he hasn't achieved his goal, but Champions League is still acceptable in my opinion. But my point is this: the reason why the fans expected top 4 was because that's what the club expected. So if the club think that we can achieve top 4, why would the fans why would we as fans say, oh no, we can't do that? Like,
Okay, I hear that. Now
It's
what
that
we're
club,
gonna do is we're gonna try to get back to the questions. First question: do you think Saliba is a leader in the dressing room? No, because he's
I'm
never
not even
been in the
answering
dressing
that. I'm
room.
not answering that question.
why
Look
do
at
you
this
think-
guy. Look at this guy's name, man.
Why do you think Emery got protected? Why do you think Emery did not get protected like this? Emery did get protected. He actually got given.
Yeah.
He got given another summer after he failed dramatically, not getting us top 4 with a point away, and not getting us Champions League football by losing 4-1 in
My
the
question
Europa
is
League.
how are you going to compare 1 point?
What
away
about
from
the
top 4
mistakes in
to-
them games? What about the mistakes in them games?
Emery has Arteta has already been more successful than Emery in his managerial career at Arsenal than Emery was in his managerial career at Arsenal.
They're still
That is
not good enough.
factually
They're
correct.
still not good enough. Doesn't mean he's good enough for Arsenal, does it? That doesn't mean
Okay.
anything.
Would you guys give a chance to Mavropanos after his loan? I think
Yes.
we should. I think
Yeah.
he is good enough. Harry, why
I
do you say
wouldn't.
no?
I wouldn't
Because I wouldn't, because it's not what we need. We don't need backups. We need players who are going to push our
So you want
first team.
holding
And
him?
Mavropanos.
Holding him.
Let's get rid of Rob Holding then.
So I didn't say that. I just said that I wouldn't have Mavropanos on loan. If you want to ask me about Rob Holding, I'll tell you what I think about Rob Holding. But Mavropanos, I wouldn't get back. It would just be another part of the continual problem. So I wouldn't have him back now.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Tom, if we sack Arteta, who do you think Arsenal should bring in?
Yeah, mate.
Realistically,
Realistic. I've always said it. You. I think I said this before. I've always said this, but I look at football with everything. I don't just look at stats and everything. I look at stats to back up. I've always said that he would become a good manager. I've always said Eddie Howe. I think you underestimate him. I always have said that.
No. Out. You gave us a hold. Out. You're out of here.
Nah, bring him back. Okay, realistic Eddie Howe. That's not realistic
That's
in my
why.
opinion. I think
Why
some
not?
people.
He's got a new job. He's got a new job. That's
No.
why.
I want to go respond to this. Every Arsenal fan saying we've stuck Arteta. We need to get to the next level. We're an elite club. We need the next level manager. You can't someone like they say he's at the same
Yeah,
level.
I've said this.
Guys, how about this? Rafa Benitez, Allegri.
No,
What are you saying? No?
You know what I'm going to go?
Not Benitez. I wouldn't take Benitez.
Well, I've thought of this as I'm obviously Arteta out. I see a lot of Arteta inners saying, oh, I hate Arteta outers because they never have a solution. Well, I always have a solution. And my manager replacement for this inexperienced manager would be, you have a few options. You have Allegri, and don't even try and tell me anything negative about this guy.
No. Continue.
No,
Next choice.
Just say, look, Allegri, look at how bad Juventus have been without Allegri. So he's a class manager. My next choice, you've got a Rafa Benitez out there. Now, I wouldn't have Benitez as
They
a
won the league
full-time.
last year with Sarri.
Oh, wow, that was difficult. Look at how good they did in the Champions League. Jeez, man. That's...
Okay, no. Continue. Who's the next choice?
You have Rafa Benitez, and I wouldn't add him as a permanent for the next 3 or 4 years, but as a 1-year deal until we can maybe finance a move for an Ancelotti, who's up there as well. You've got Conte, who might be leaving Inter Milan. I see a lot of people saying, no, he's not because they won the league. He has issues with the new owners. And you've also then got managers like Nagelsmann and these kind of managers they're at great teams, but they want to step up to the bigger leagues in terms of they want to move from second fiddle in Germany because,
Leipzig
ain't going to buy it anytime soon.
We got Champions League football to watch. There's a bunch of questions we need to get
What
through.
about the American manager? What American manager?
One second. Forget about the American managers. Get back to Aubameyang or Lacazette. Are you guys selling? Yes or no?
Both.
Also, as long as you got a replacement.
I'm selling Lacazette. Aubameyang, I don't think it's possible to sell. So I'm realistically saying, if you're realistic, you can only sell one. If you're trying to be serious as a club and you're like Chelsea, you could sell both. But I don't think we're going to sell both. I think we're going to sell Lacazette only. Can we win the Europa League? Can we? Yes. Will we? Is a different question. Why is the striker playing as a left wing back? We already know why. Because we were our shape was completely unorganized, and we were defending more than we were attacking. What do you think?
Arteta's tactically inept.
Okay, that is not factually correct because Arteta has set up perfectly in the past against teams. So that when people say stuff like tactically inept, it's not factually correct. Okay, what is Arsenal's minimum expectations next season if you do not win the Europa League? For me, next season, if we do not win the Europa League, it depends. Do we still have Europa Conference League? Because if we have Europa Conference League, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Hey, this man in the chat, he said, "Get Ted Lasso." That is class, man. That is a class comment.
Yes.
Oh man.
I think top six is maybe realistically what we can expect.
Quickly. Stop laughing. We have to go.
Okay. How can Arsenal dressing room feel comfortable around Saliba? Oh man, come on! Don't say stuff like that. That's nonsense. Everyone does silly stuff.
No, this is too controversial. Don't answer this question.
What?
Don't. It's too
no.
You want to
know something? I've never had jollof rice in my life.
Don't answer.
Okay. Would you sell what? Who do
Next
you?
Question.
We've already done this. Egal, just man, you're on a rampage today. What's going on with this guy? How can Arsenal play?
Yeah, Egal, that's the same question as before.
Same question again. Okay, no, that's not working either. Rafa Benitez 100%, they say. And that's pretty much it. Oh, we got Sam saying get Ted Lasso. Sam Green was a legend, man.
Fucking class comment.
Oh man, Conference League. Okay, so yeah, guys. Before we sign out, I just want everyone to answer the question of the day. Has Arteta lost the dressing room? And what are your expectations for Arsenal? And tell the people where they can find you. Samuel.
And the manager hasn't lost the dressing room. You can clearly see the players are quite behind him. We still got a Europa League campaign to go through, and guess what? We can still win Europa League. That's my opinion. At this stage of the competition, anyone can win it. We've got a high chance of winning the competition. No Arteta, me, Harry, Egal, Montreal have not said 10th is acceptable. In fact, we've all said it's unacceptable and it's embarrassing. That's what we all said. 10th place is unacceptable. But all in all, listen, I hate this divided fan base. Last time I finally got a man, no toxicity, no infighting, but I guess that's not the case. But just get behind, just for this last 1 month, just 1 month, 3 weeks, Egal, 3 weeks. Just get behind the manager, get behind the team, and at the end of the season, we'll see everything.
Military Gunner.
The manager has definitely not lost the dressing room. The players are still fighting for him, as you can see. Whenever they're celebrating, they head towards the manager right away. So guys, get behind the team. Let's see what the summer has for us. And you guys can find me on the Military Gunner TV on YouTube, also Twitter, Instagram. It's all Military Gunner TV. Just search for it on any social media platform and you'll see me.
Bang! Yo, Harry.
I don't think Arteta's lost the dressing room. I think some of the dressing room have lost Arteta, in all honesty. I think there's a few players in that team who are just shown they're not good enough from a tactical perspective and from an individual ability perspective. I think Ceballos has let the manager down massively. I think Elneny's let the manager down at times. There's lots of players that we can question. Expectations for next year are to finish top six. And and like what Sam said, Got to try and be positive. Got to try and get the good energy around the club, because the media can feed off the negative energy that we have, and you need to try to remain objective. And when you see Aubameyang at left wing back, it's not because Arteta said, Aubameyang, today, mate, I want you to play left wing back. It's because the game has dictated that Aubameyang needs to track back. So just try to look at things objectively if you're able to.
There you go. And then I'm gonna let Tom go first. Tom, what you saying?
Mute.
Yeah, he's on mute. Tom.
I'm not Arsenal fan. Yeah. Oh.
No,
Yeah.
I know you're not an Arsenal fan, but you're on the panel, so I just want to ask you, what's your thoughts? Do you think Arteta has lost the dressing room? And finally, just tell the people where they can catch you.
I'm everywhere. I'm well, no, at the minute I'm stuck in my bedroom, so I'm not really anywhere. But no, I think I can stay because West Ham are the best team in London at the moment. So I just say mind the gap and enjoy the ride and enjoy being mid-table. Like, it's all about an knob at the end of the day.
All right, man. Military Express. I mean, why did I say Military Express? Gunner Express.
Yeah, what's the question, man? You throw me off now. What's the question, man?
The question is, who is the problem that got us to this situation?
What, the situation of 10th?
Yes.
Well, then Arteta, because he's the manager with 10th in this season. So I'm sorry, everybody blaming the players, everybody blaming Kroenke for us being 10th. I get the player argument, but you can't blame Stan Kroenke because we're sitting 10th. Like, I get that he's an issue and that we need to get rid of him, but us sitting 10th in the league is not an owner's fault. That's down to the manager, because I'm sorry, you were the manager, you were the one that looks after the players in training, you look after their well-being, their mentality, and I'm sorry, when you say that he hasn't lost the players, you aren't watching these players properly. Like, you aren't watching them in terms of the way they're looking, because every single week the players get worse and worse and worse. The likes of Leno are getting worse. Aubameyang does not look mentally fit in terms of wanting to be there. And the likes of some of the games this season when we've won, the reason why I think we're winning is because they're ignoring him. Because everybody says, oh, Arteta's shouting out this stuff and the players aren't listening to him. Why aren't they listening to him then? That's not because they're stupid or they're deaf. That's because they aren't listening to him because they don't believe in what he's saying. So don't come on here or on any other channel and say the players don't listen to him, that's why Arteta's failing, and then say he hasn't lost the dressing room. It's one of the two. So he has lost the dressing room. Whether that's because the players are all idiots, and if that's the case, then bin them all, or if it's Arteta not having the right ability to keep them in track. But we don't know because we aren't in the dressing room every day. But, I mean, look, in terms of the Europa League, it's not a matter of can we win it, it's a matter of we have to win it. Because if we don't win it, it's the most embarrassing season and one of the worst seasons in Arsenal history. And that's a fact. So we have to win it. I don't care if we can, we have to. That's it. And if Man United win it and we're sat here losing to Prague, man, I'm going to be so pissed. Because I hate Man United so much. And I do not want to see them lifting the European trophy again.
Yo, Samuel, full screen this?
Okay, cool. There you go.
Dum, 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 dum. Guys, that's pretty much it. Like, honestly, I'm gonna go watch Law and Order in the Champions League and do some other stuff. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know. I just want to let you guys know that I'm really, really struggling right now with this whole situation with my laptop. I might not even do it. I might not even do a live stream for the midweek game in the Europa League. But big up to everybody watching. If you guys have stayed for this long and you haven't already subscribed, do that thing, subscribe. And you know what? Have yourselves a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here. Big up to all the panelists. I appreciate you guys all, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for a preview versus them lot. We're not even gonna mention their name on the channel. Anyways, you guys already know. Peace.